Hi there, how's it going? My name is Jimmy, and I like to make videos that help people. Today, we're talking about the Oris Aquis wristwatch. It was kind of a pain to change out the strap from a bracelet. And if you're in the same predicament, I want you to watch this video. I want this to be the definitive guide to do it the right way. I want you to avoid any mistakes that I made, and I don't want you to lose any parts. So I will try to cover all the bases here. Are you ready? Let's go. Before we go any further, there is one thing you really need to know. You need to have a very specific tool, and this tool can be purchased from Oris or somebody who has this type of tool from Oris. It has the tri-wing tip here, screwdriver that goes into this body shaft here, and it grips just perfectly of the Mercedes-Benz logo that's at the end of the watch strap pin. Do not try to use any other tool. I repeat, do not use any other tool. No flatheads, no Phillips, no Star. That'll fit, don't try it. You will strip it and that'll cost you 40 bucks for this one pin, 80 bucks for 2 pins. It's crazy expensive. Do not force it. Get the right tool or go to Amazon and use my link down below in the description. You can get that if that'll work. Either way, be very careful, and if you take your time, it'll be just fine. I repeat, do not use any type of screwdriver besides this tri-wing type of bit that will fit just right. Okay, now that I've said that, here are a few things you're going to need. I have some colored tape here that I just kind of stick here. I put the screws to it. The screws are so small that you can lose them in just about anywhere. So I recommend using a white dishcloth that has some fibers in it. It helps catch the things from rolling away. I also recommend working on a table like this. It has a rim to it. I'm serious. This stuff will roll away, go under a cabinet or something like that. Very difficult to find. Let's begin by studying the ends here. This, hopefully you guys can see, is a Mercedes-Benz type of logo here, and that's where this fits in. I recommend just lightly touching it and moving it back and forth till it grips. Got it. Lefty, loosey. Do not force it. If you strip out, be very careful. You can damage the finish and the grooves. We don't want that. Okay, I didn't even feel it. It's like weightless. It's so small and tiny. I am going to stick this on some tape here. Just kind of fold it in there. So I've lost that before. I'm going to finish this side by using a toothpick. The screw just came out of here. I push it inside, gently force the other end out, just like so. Okay. It comes right out. Let's repeat it with the other side. Touch the little tri-wing tip area, lefty-loosey, nice and gentle. It might be tight. A few turns is all it takes, and it falls right out. Be very, very careful here. There's no need to rush. I like to use a toothpick and just stick it in through the other side nice and straight, and it comes out just like this. Get your other strap. In this case, I'm going to put this back on. The buckle part goes in the top, and this whole part goes in the bottom. Both watch pins go in from the left side of the watch, both of them. So if you're looking at the watch right here, it's going to go in this way, both of them. Before we do that, it's important you have to study what this looks like up close. Right here is the shaft of the watch pin, the strap pin. At the very top is like a nail head. Right below that nail head is a smaller, narrower nail head that's also circular right underneath it. And below that is the long shaft here. The one that's second from top looks to be circular as you rotate it between your fingertips. Now you should have a lot of light helping you here because you're going to use that light to reflect a flat spot on that second rung. That is the key that no one talks about. That is why when you put this in here and you jam it in, it will not go in all the way. It will be sticking out just a little bit, like an eighth or less, a 1/16 of an inch, a centimeter, less than that. If it's not completely flush, it is incorrectly seated inside. Rotate it again. Try to find it again. Get used to seeing that flat spot because it's very useful to know how it looks, how it reacts in the light. So if there is in fact an orientation to this strap pin, you see inside the lug hole here, it looks to be circular. In fact, it's impossible to see. There is a flat side to that hole as well. That is where the flat part of this matches up. The flat spot, if you're looking at the watch like this, is towards the ceiling, right? The top of the crystal towards the ceiling. It should be lined up like this. The flat spot goes directly in. So this should also go in flat towards the top. I'll show you guys right now. I'm going to do the top one first, the top part of the strap. I'm going to hold it like this. And don't worry about getting it just right in the beginning. Go ahead and thread it through. Okay, just like that. It's not all the way in, but get it close, right about there. And then rotate this until you see that flat spot again. Okay, once you think you see it, rotate it again, just to be sure. Rotate it back and forth. You'll be able to identify this part. Use your nail to contact that flat spot and move it back and forth. Remember, even if it's a little off, it will not seat in flush. It needs to be completely flat to guide against the flat surface on the inside of the lug. I'm going to take my time here and push it in with my thumb. Look how easy it's going in right now. Okay, it's sticking out just a little bit here. I'm going to use a little bit of force with my thumb. And it just pushed right in. That means it was aligned just right. You see how flush that is? When I did it a day ago, it was sticking out, and no matter what I did, how much force I put on, it would not go in, I'm telling you.
Okay, I'm interrupting myself now to tell you guys that in fact it does not need to be flush, it needs to be recessed. So do that now and watch the rest of the video as I continue to mess this up.
I'm going to get one screw here that I have attached to the paper, and I'm going to just drop it in like that. It's very hard to see, I apologize. I'm going to use my tri-wing tool, feel the grooves, and turn just a few times. And we'll tighten up later. For now, I'm not going to lose that screw.
This is how it should look when you're done.
Remember, this is the other shoulder watch strap pin. Look for that flat spot. Keep looking for it. I found it right there. It's hard to see. Let the light reflect off of it. Move it back and forth between your fingers. Same thing. Get your other strap ready. Go in from the left side of the watch. Start threading it through. Okay. And before putting it all the way in, you're going to use your fingernail. Let the light reflect. Find that flat spot. let it face towards the crystal, towards the top, the ceiling. I think I have it straight now. I'm going to push it in with my finger. Okay, it went all the way in straight. Usually it doesn't go in that easily. I'll need to push it in. I'll need to use this rubber part of a mallet to just kind of...
Hi, yeah, it's me. I'm back again. Just interrupting myself to say that, yes, I should have used something to push it a little further. It would have saved me a lot of heartache throughout this video.
But if it doesn't go in with that kind of medium force, you should take your toothpick here and you should force it out, rotate it so it's flat, and push it in again. I'm going to place this tiny screw into the hole, like that. Now I'm turning this right now. This has never happened to me before, and it keeps spinning a little bit. But look on this side.
Okay, so it's time to wake up and pay attention, because this is where all the odd problems I've never had before start coming up. Let's start troubleshooting together.
It's popped out just a tiny bit there. So I'm going to use a toothpick and over my fingertip and just push it back in the other side. I'm just trying to make it flush here, because when I tried to screw it in, this came back out, and now I'm trying to push this back in. It won't be flush. It won't get flush that I need it to be. So when putting in this screw, it might have rotated it a little bit, so now it won't go flush. So what do I have to do? Because I didn't force it all the way, I am able to unscrew this again. As I unscrewed this just now, I felt the other side rotate. So that can happen. You find the right orientation and it still won't fit because it rotated on the way in. I'm going to take this screw and put it back. Wow, that was really stuck in there. And now I'm going to find that flat spot again. Get it facing towards the crystal, like up direction. Tilt it in different directions, trying to find that light. When you push it in, make sure you don't put any stress on the strap. Okay. It's almost flush. I'm going to use this to push it in a little bit more. And it snapped into place.
Should have pushed it in further.
Right there. Now I'm not going to crank on it because it might move the stem there. So I'm just going to gently find the grooves, turn slightly, a little bit more, and look, it's coming out this side again. Okay, this is where the screw is. This was kind of popping up. Before I twist it even further, let me just push this in to realign. So I'm unable to push this back in. This happened for the second time. This has never happened to me before. So I'm kind of glad it's happening now. Okay, here's the screw. It actually fell out of my hand. See what I mean? Okay, I push this part out again with the toothpick. And I'm going to realign it the best I can. Okay, it's completely flush. Let me push this in even further. It's pretty indented now, actually. I want to get as far in as possible to avoid it from coming out and rotating. So this is a new method here. I'm going to drop this in, like so. And I'm going to put my thread in this way. I'm going to keep my thumb on this side to keep it from jutting out again, and I'm rotating it slowly. Oh, see, it wants to come out again. I'm not going to let that happen. I'm going to keep my thumb on this side, and I'm going to tighten this up again. And I'm going to rotate while pushing my thumb in the other side. It's pretty tight here, and it's flush here. So I stopped it from coming out the other side by using my thumb as a stopper here. Okay, so I just ran into an issue here where I was trying to screw it on, even though this was put in the right way, the pin here, it was oriented the right way. I then put the screw in, and it kept pushing the pin out the other side and misaligning. And now I just ran into an issue where I had to try to undo it, but the screw was on so tight that I was unable to unscrew it off the screw. It was rotating the entire stem on the inside. So I had to take my thumb, push it as tightly as I could, and try to undo the screw. This might happen to you. So now I have the screw out after some tries. I want to try and figure out why this thing keeps coming out.
It keeps coming out because it's not fully pushed in to be locked into place.
It is in there pretty tight, meaning that I must have really jammed it in there incorrectly. So I couldn't just push out the pin. I had to use a little bit of tapping force to get it out the other side. Okay, so I finally got this thing out of here, and I am going to try and line this up one more time. Make sure it's facing the ceiling as best I can. Okay, it's pretty flush now, and I'm going to really get this in there as best I can. Okay, as you can see, I'm pushing it even further than I am able to. I want to really get it in there so it's less likely to move. Okay, so it's pretty recessed in there right now.
Ding, 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 I figured it out.
And I think that's okay. All right, let's put the screw back in and see if I can get this to not rotate. Whoop! Just drop the screw. It's okay, everybody, I found it. I'm just trying to twist it right now and tighten it without pushing on it. Okay, so now it's pretty recessed on both of them, just by a little bit. And this is very secure now. So I learned a very valuable lesson in making this video. It's best to have it slightly recessed on all sides here. And you do that by pushing in the pin side, correct orientation, as deep as you can, possibly using something like this, and just pushing in the corners right there. Maybe even a toothpick can reinforce, just push it in as far as you can inside. Okay, because when you screw on the other side, it's got to grab onto that, and that is also going to be nicely recessed. And it won't turn everything, it'll just grip it and stop. Okay, I hope this helps you guys. Thank you for watching this very long video. Just wanted to cover all my mistakes and troubleshoot as we went. Thank you so much.